welcome to episode 112. Today I'm excited because I'm taking my first listener submitted question to the podcast. So we asked this question about a week ago, and the pseudonym is Girl in Distress, and she's asking about friendship. So let's talk about that. So the question reads, and I quote, "Hi Lade, I love listening to your daily podcast. Please, I have a question. How do you try to get closer to someone you think will be a good friend? I long to open up about my various issues with faith and my mental health, but whenever I try to open up to someone, they literally ghost me or don't show concern. This has led me to close up, and I never share stuff about myself with anyone, but it's eating me inside and I need a release. I'll appreciate a response. Thank you." Okay, first of all, thank you for listening to my daily podcast and thank you for submitting your question. I'm very honored. And this is a question about friendship, so I'm going to answer it from that lens. So I totally relate to like struggling to find people to open yourself up to and feeling ghosted or like the other person does not have concern for you. My first tip to you, since you mentioned faith, so I want to assume and I hope correctly that you are a person of faith. You are a Christian, or I'm going to go with Christian. But yeah, so I would say pray. Like it sounds basic or like the thing that everyone tells you to do, but I would definitely say pray. When I was struggling with friendships when I moved abroad, one of the things I did was to pray. I prayed a lot. It was in my daily prayer, like almost every day I was praying for friends and for God to send me to my own friends and people for that I can grow with and that will uphold me and that I can also uphold. So first thing I would say is definitely pray and ask God to help you with that. The second thing I would say is be the kind of friend you want to have. So, are you also listening to people? Are you also showing concern to them? Are you also making yourself available to be a listening ear? Are you actually genuinely asking people how they are and listening to that and seeing how you can help? So, if someone tells you that, oh, they're trying to get a job, are you helping them in some way? Maybe sending them links to jobs that you see of that or whatever job title or job role they're interested in. Are you sending them articles that you stumble on how to interview or how to do your CV, that kind of thing? So be the kind of friend that you want, be the kind of person that you want people to be to you. Treat others as you would like them to treat you, basically. That definitely helps in getting people to trust you, to also reciprocate, because the law of reciprocity is really strong. People tend to do things for you that you do for them. May not be one to one necessarily, but when they see that happening a lot, most reasonable people will also do the same back for you. Then number three, or maybe even before the number two, is are you going to places where, or like the people that you're trying to be friends with or they're trying to connect with, are there things that you have in common? In the episode on my theory of friendships, one of the things I talk about is shared interests, values, and experiences is one of the base things, pillars for friendship. So are you trying to connect with people that you have something in common with, maybe people from your church, or are you connecting with people in your church, or do you have cells in your church? Are you part of a cell or home group or whatever, and where you're actually engaging with people and connecting with people? Or are you just going there and then going back home? So that, or maybe is there music that you like, books, films, whatever, like something that you're interested in that you guys have in common? That is a good way to build the basis of, or then you can now start talking about things outside of that first thing that connected you guys together. Many of the friends that I have, not now but like from before, were people who they also had blogs. I was writing a blog online, and so many of them were people who also had blogs and were writing online, and that was something that we had in common that we could connect over. Many of them were also in school, but maybe in other countries or other cities, and that was also something that we could connect over. So basically, find people that have similar interests or are currently experiencing a similar thing to you, and that's a place where you can connect. This could also be friends of friends as well. So are there people that maybe you won't call them your tier one friends, but maybe your tier two or tier three friends that you can start strengthening those connections by doing the things I talked about in like tip one and tip two, which is to be the kind of friend that you want and also just put yourself out there basically in terms of looking for friendships. And then for those people that are already in your radar, you can start praying to God, like, to help you with, like, what can you do with this person? Is this person someone you should spend time with? Those kinds of things. And even for other people that you haven't met yet and you don't know yet, like, who are they in your, like, just praying for God to bring those people to you. I know when we feel overwhelmed and stressed, it can be tempting to want to share with everyone, but it's also being discerning and cautious about who you're unburdening yourself to, because not everybody is ready for that, be interested in that. So you need to be sure that these are people who actually want to hear from you, hear of the things you're going through, and um, also be there for you, because some people don't think that they have the capacity to be there for you at that time or things like that. So you have to also assess that. You can also assess that by asking directly, like, what do you think of our relationship or friendship? Do you think that we're close enough friends? Is this something that you want to build? And I have done that before. It's a very hard thing to do because it's literally exposing your heart outside, but you need to do that sometimes. That gives you the heartbreak earlier on than for you to then unburden yourself and then the person goes to you. And I think also follow up with people. Sometimes we assume that somebody has ghosted us or the person doesn't want to talk to us anymore, but something may be going on with them and they also don't know how to talk about it, or they feel like they're not ready to talk about it yet. So just extending grace and assuming positive intent until otherwise proven can also help you in building those relationships. So really, extend grace, and it's important to just ask, be direct, like directly ask, like, oh, I told you this, I expected this, and that way you can adjust your expectations. You can know that, okay, this person is not that kind of friend for me, at least not now, or this person is, but maybe now is not a good time for them, and things like that. And if for your mental health, for like the issues that you have with your mental health, it'll be ideal for you to actually talk to a therapist or someone who is professionally trained for that, so you're not putting unnecessary burdens on people that they can't actually handle, because that could also be why people might be ghosting you or not showing concern, because they actually don't know how to handle it and they don't know what to say or do, and instead of just saying that, they just like, okay, this is beyond me, and they just retreat from that. So that's something else that you could consider in dealing with this. And again, I've said before that with friendship, sometimes you can start with vulnerability, but it does, like, as the foundation, like that's where it starts from, the first pillar that is built. But most times it starts with the shared experiences, interests, and values first. So if you start light and then gradually start going into the quote unquote deeper things, then maybe you also find more success with that. And yeah, I hope this helps. Let me know if it does, and good luck with your friendship search. Thank you for listening to today's episode of A Couple of Things. If you found anything insightful, interesting, or you enjoyed this episode, please do share. And remember to like, if you can, wherever you listen to your podcasts, leave a comment, subscribe, so you get the future episodes. Thanks. Before you go, this is a reminder that you can ask me to talk about a specific topic or answer a question that you have by filling the form in the show notes to submit your suggestion or question. Bye.